I don't know what is up with the story in 1 hour episodes, but yes, this is another 1 hour episode, so I do have to explain what happened. So basically, you wake up, yay, ta-da! Well, before that, Tanjiro and everyone, Zenitsu, Inosuke, Kayaka, who else? But basically, them are all worried for you, and you're at the Butterfly Estate right now, I think, if I'm correct. And then you wake up. Mitsuri kind of beats the shit out of Obanai for you guys. Oh, good for you. You wake up, like I said, and now here we are. Your tears calmed down by now, but the memories were way too overwhelming for you. So many things happened at once that made you feel nauseous and frustrated. You had no mood for anything. You wanted to rest and meditate the recent events in hopes to ease your mind. Kayaka noticed your emotions and decided to keep you company and entertain you with stories and the facts that the same way you used to care for him back when he was a toddler. Sadly, all he did was add more fuel to the fire. As he kept rambling on medicines and plant facts, you blamed yourself for digging him into this mess, your mess. He was a child. No matter how smart he was, he deserved a normal childhood. Yet who were you to talk about a normal childhood when you never experienced one? The closest you've ever been to that concept was back at Tanjiro's home with his family. No one fought. Everyone got along. They all cared for each other and lived comfortably, even with so many material things lacking in their home. Hanuo, are you still sad? Kayaka's voice broke out of your thoughts. A little bit, but you cheer me up. You smiled, doing your best to hide all traces of neglect. Guessing by a small, unsure smile, you didn't hide it too well. I promise, I'm fine. Don't worry anymore. I know it's not the best time to say this, but... The black-haired kid trailed off, his voice dimming with each word. It's okay. I don't mind, Kiri. You reassured, sitting straight as means to let him know he had your full attention. Kayaka's eyes glimmered, yet a small trail of fear and nervousness resigned. Shinobu offered me to become her Kayaka stuttered, looking down as he tried to speak correctly. It was so cute. He could perform blood transfusions and galactic leverages, but he couldn't speak well. Even the smartest mind struggles, it seems. She wants you to success her, you ask, Kayaka looking at you with hopeful eyes as he gave a small nod. The thought of it pained you, but it also brought you joy. He finally found a place for him. I don't want to leave you, Hano, Kayaka mumbled sadly, hugging you. So, if you want me to stay with you, it's okay. You held Kayaka's face lovingly, like making him look at you. Go ahead. His face reflected many happy emotions, but worry overwhelmed them. Are you sure? If that's what you want to do, don't let anything stop you. Not even me. As long as you're happy, don't hesitate. You smiled, kissing his forehead. This was the sole reason I took you with me. You have to live the life you wanted and let you walk the path that makes you happy. But what about you? Will you be okay? Will you miss me? The black-eyed asked. Of course I'll miss you. You're my child, my pride and joy, and my sneaky little mischief maker. You giggled, tickling him a little as you gave him another kiss on the forehead. Kayaka also giggled, pushing you away softly. But even if I miss you, I know I'll always find you here, so I'm not afraid. And besides, I have someone who can protect me while you're not around. Is it that man with the googly eyes and funny smile? Kayaka tilted his head. Yes, him. You laughed, but soon whispered to Kayaka. You mustn't tell Tanjiro about him, all right? But why? The kid asked once again, but understood. You don't love Tanjiro anymore, right? Your lips faltered and you looked away. Look, Kayaka, people change and... I know, Hano, don't worry. Kayaka now reassured you, smiling brightly. And as you said, as long as you're happy, don't hesitate. Well, aren't you a wise little boy? You giggled, hugging him. I'm not a little boy, he scoffed. Oh, sorry, Mr. Grown-up Adult, you laughed. Hana-oh, Kayako whined, trying to pry off you. You laughed, letting him go. He jumped off the bed. I'll go tell Shinobu-san that you said yes. All right, then. You nodded, watching him dash out of the room. A few seconds later, Kayaka shyly peeked from the doorframe, glancing at you with sheepish eyes. I love you, Mom. Before you could ask what he said, he had already gone. Isn't he a sweetheart? A male voice chipped as the figure slid the door open. Michiro. He carried a box with what you would guess were secrets. You were still afraid of Michiro, honestly, but you couldn't push him away all the time. That's how children are. You side smiled. Michiro sitting in the chair next to your bed. Well, you're a sweetheart yourself, but you're not a child. Michiro chuckled, handing you a box. It had crayon-colored bracelets and small perfume bottles the same color. I knew you wouldn't eat food after what just happened, so I brought you this, Michiro said with a small smile. I hope it's all right. Yes, there's no problem. Don't worry. You reassured, setting the box aside. I love it. Michiro sighed softly. I scared you that time, didn't I? Please be honest. You nodded unsurely, hugging your knees. No one expects your emotions so blatantly. It's confusing and weird. Sorry about that. The mist pillar sulked. I really meant that what I said about admiring you, but I didn't know I made you feel that way. You gotta tell me next time, as your friend and protector. I have to know when I'm hurting you in any way. You don't have to be my protector, Miyu-kun. You shook your head. I have to. As someone I look up to, I must protect you, as well as Kayaka. Michiro retorted with determination before scoffing as he looked away. Unlike Tanjiro, who sneaks at night and leaves Kayaka alone. What? Wait, excuse me? What? You interrupted, scared by his words. Tanjiro does what? Nothing. Please don't worry about it, Michiro said, but you cut his words off again. Michiro, what has Tanjiro been doing? The alpha-dimensional pillar sighed heavily as he spoke. He's been sneaking out every night to spy on you. Even the day Kayaka sent that torn letter, Tanjiro left to stalk you. Asked Mitsuki's Kazuki if you wanted to. Even Kayaka. Your heart stopped for a second. You felt disgusted. You felt disgusting. As if your body was nothing but a ghouly vessel of muck and trash. What else has Tanjiro done that he never mentioned? Kayaka was endangered because of his sick self. My child was in such danger because of him. You shivered, tears threatening to come out. You looked at Michiro. Why did you never tell me this? I didn't want to hurt you, he replied sadly. If you knew all that they have done, you would. Zenitsu and Inosuke too. You choked down a sob. Ian, Michiro, tell me, you begged, holding him by his arms, him looking at you. Please. Michiro hissed softly as he spoke. Inosuke hasn't done anything, but Zenitsu was the one that sent you that bag. As soon as he heard what happened, he killed the Kazuki and sent a bag to you as some sort of sick trophy. You can believe it. Well, you believed it, but you want to deny all of it. At least, there was one thing that was clear to you at the moment. You definitely waited for the breakup out way too long. Excuse me for a second, Michiro-san, you mumbled, getting out of the bed and walking towards the door. Ian, I'm sorry. Don't apologize, you said, opening the door, not facing Tanjiro. I should thank you, actually, for clearing my mind. And with those words, you were gone. Michiro, worried, subsided, twisted into a sick, amused grin, his hazy eyes seemingly glowing with anticipation. Anything for you, my beloved. Chanjo giddily made his way to your assigned room. There was so much he wanted to say, including a few more sweet words to make you forget about Zenitsu and Inosuke. They were becoming pests out of the burgundy hair's control, so he had to resort to you. As he turned the corner, he saw you. It worried him to see you out of bed. You still had 24 more hours until you were allowed to roam around. Before he could even open his mouth, you spoke. We need to talk. Your tone was stern. You smelled of anger and disappointment. Was it related to Zenitsu? That blonde idiot suddenly became more smug and made him, Tanjiro, look like a lovesick moron once more. Sure, he smiled brightly, holding your hands. I have my own reasons as well. Don't touch me. You scrunched your nose, prying your hands off his. Though he was hurt, emotionally, by your actions. He kept a smile and followed you. Tanjo and you entered an unused medical room, facing each other. What do you want to tell me about? We're over. Tanjo's smile was gone in a flash, and instead, there was a scared, sentimental, and pale face. What? This relationship we had. It's over. You reframed. We're breaking up. Why are you acting like this? Did they do something to you? Tanjo asked, his voice breaking from time to time. He got closer to you, trying to hug you. Why do you always assume that other people have to do with me, or how I act? You retorted angrily, taking a step back. Have I done something wrong then? He asked once again, arms slightly open, if ready to hug you. Yes, you have. Many times, in fact, you said coldly, glaring at Tanjo. This made the alpha-dimensional male's eyes widen in horror, as well as his entire body start to shake. Don't expect me to list all of them, though. He looked at you, begging for an answer. I don't want to drag this on any longer, so I'll go straight to the point, you continued. Your tone was monotone and firm as before. This relationship ends right here and now. Tanjo shook his head slowly, tears beginning to form. He quickly held his hands. Oh, your hands. You felt how much his own hands quivered. It kind of made you wonder if this was all some low move to guilt trip you. Tell me what I had done wrong so I can change. I swear I will. I'll do anything you tell me to do. Just please don't leave me. I don't want you to change, Tanjo. I want this to be over, you said, wincing angrily at the sight of hint of sadness. Though it really pinned you to see Tanjo like this. It was necessary, though. After all, you did had feelings towards him. You had feelings for him. I can't keep on like this, Tanjo. I just can't. Was it because of my jealousy? Was I too overprotective? Tanjo asked with an urge of fear. I'm sorry. I just worry so much about you. I know you do. And that's exactly your problem. You snapped, taking Tanjo aback more than before. Since the first moment we met, I was nothing more than a little girl you had to protect. A naive, foolish little girl that can't fend for herself. That's not true. Then why do you hold me captive so many times in your house, making excuses just so I wouldn't leave? This made Tanjo jolt. You scoffed with a glare. Don't think I didn't notice. Tanjo tried to excuse himself, yet he couldn't find the words. Instead, he also glared at you, his fearful and hurt features still there. I made so many efforts to keep you happy, Yin. I sacrificed so many things for Kayaka and you, and I agreed to all your pecks and calls. Hell, I even helped you when you were alone that day. Oh, my hero! So many things you gave up for Kayaka and I, you said sarcastically with a mocking smile, soon looking at the redhead with hatred once again. The one properly caring for Kayaka so far has been Inosuke, the man I least expected. All you've ever done is leave him behind just for your clinginess, costing my child's life. If that is your idea of caring, then I'd rather never be cared for. Ian, I don't need you to protect me. I'm the one with the godly blessing. Kayaka and I can do just fine without you. In fact, we were doing great without you. You kept saying, walking towards the red-eyed, poking him in the chest. With each step you took, he backed away lightly with each poke. I never asked for you to take me to your house and help me. I never asked for you to shed blood and tears for me. I never asked you to give me the mountains or the stars, which, let's be honest, you can never give me. And I never asked for you to try and push away all my friends because of your stupid, annoying jealousy. Your eyes opened widely, a shiver coursing from your neck and down to your spine. It was all the same. The hate, the fights, the aggression. You were just like your mother. The relationship was twisted and nauseating, just like your parents' one. Your hands began to shake as tears threatened to come out. You left your house. You left that life. You left that family because you wanted to be happy. To never make the same mistakes your mother made, or more importantly, to never be like her. You were destined to a miserable life if you stayed with Tanjiro like this. It was all clear now. You quickly composed yourself, glaring at Tanjiro intensely. Kamado Tanjiro, I'm glad for what you've done for my kid and I so far. But this is where we part ways. May the gods be with you and bless your path. And with that, you turned your heels and began walking away. Yin! Tanjiro held you by your wrist tightly, looking at you with crazed, amused face. Let me go. You demanded. Don't leave me, please, Yin. I'm begging you. Tanjiro cried helplessly. No one loved me or cared for me as much as you did. You're all I have left. Let go, you said once again, hissing in pain. Are you in love with someone else? I'll do better. I'll be better than them, Tanjiro said with a creepy, desperate smile beginning to form on his lips. I'm the one at fault for not meeting your expectations, so please don't leave me. A third hand appeared, holding Tanjiro's wrist. The owned of said hand was a boy with a scar across his face, below his eyes. Genya. I'm pretty sure she told you to let go. The blackhead spoke sternly, glaring daggers at Tanjiro. This doesn't concern you, Tanjiro retorted, also glaring at Genya. Don't try to make a scene, unless you want to get kicked out of the demon-slaying course, he warned. After a little battle of death glares, Tanjiro growled lowingly, and finally freed your hand from his grasp. You quickly brought your hand back to yourself, softly caressing your wrist, which was now red. I don't care what happened here, and I'm not going to ask, but you should know your manners, Genya said, his dark tone never fading. Both Genya and you left the room. Only an angered and heartbroken Tanjiro remained. Thank you, Genya, you mumbled, nodding lightly as you caressed your wounded hand carefully. No worries, the aforementioned boy said with a calming voice, smiling reassuringly. I'm sorry, you muttered sadly. About your brother. Don't worry about that, Genya said in a melodic tone. If only he knew that his brother treasured him as much as he did. Let's get you something for the injury. Right, you nodded. In a place with doors and rooms according at random yet symmetrical manners, 6 figures stood. More accompanying, 5 of those figures were kneeling, and the 6th stood before them. Guessing by the way the 5 figures knelt, the 6th one was terrifying. It seems that I wish to speak of important manners today. The standing demon spoke darkly, scaring everyone, yet they dared not move. But something interesting has risen. In a second, one of the 5 demons was harshly brought forth, thanks to the squawking mesh of flesh A boy with dark brown hair and orange at the end fought to break free from the flesh mass. Genovia. Kumare, the pale-skinned demon said before chuckling darkly. No, Adil. The aforementioned demon stopped his struggles. Of course I wouldn't fall for such a stupid trick. You didn't even try to get the lower moon number correctly. The red-eyed demon scoffed, scaring Abino even more. Yet, what a nice surprise it is to see one of my beloved closest lackeys spying my every move. Does it mean she has shown interest in becoming my queen? Abito didn't speak nor made a sound, even if he was choking. He made sure to keep quiet. Where is Yin Hanuo? The demon asked. Rejoice, lost sinners, for salvation has now come. Yin Hanuo, a Tengo sent by the gods. She will end our pain, and will rest under the sun. Rejoice, lost sinners, for our resting has now come. Albino chanted between coughs and faint gasps. Justice in her words, and both hands they rejoiced. She holds no malice, and her sword resembles truth. Rejoice, lost sinners, for we'll walk neath heaven's sun. Anito's right leg was ripped off, yet the aforementioned demon let no yell. Instead, he kept chanting. I asked you, you lowly thing, the demon with red eyes said with darkened patience. Where is Yin Hanuo? Rejoice, lost sinner, for our resting has now come. Amidno chanted louder. Rejoice in her tongue and both hands, her recite. She holds no malice and... I'm growing tired, the demon scoffed, squeezing the boy's body to a point where its bones broke and blood spilled out of every opening and wound. He threw the now limp of meat aside and stared evilly at the other remaining demons. Now 2 of the lower moons have died in the hands of Hanuo. The 4 of you will die as well if you fail to bring me that child. Yes, master. Yes, master. The demons nodded, standing up, 3 of them running off. The black-haired demon with red eyes hummed boredom, pointing his finger at a certain demon. He wants to run away. A demon died. She wants Hanaho to help her. Another demon died. He's too useless to do the job. A 3rd demon died. The demon that stood still extended his arms with a lovesick grin on his lips. Whether to die or to serve you, it's an honor for me, master. The pale demon in black, attired, thought for a second before smiling wickedly. This one will do. The loud sounds of metal whistling, a train track. At the edge of the train track, a white camel grew in bloom, the flower of purity, innocence, respect, and emergence, and death. The white camel suddenly turned vibrant red. Love, a noble death. The camel turned into flames that was raging ablaze. A sudden gust of wind exhausting the flame. The gust of wind whistling. Mugan train. No, you yelled in panic, sitting up from the bed as you looked around frantically. Yin? Tanjiro suddenly burst into the door. Yin, are you all right? He's going to die, he said in frustration, quickly changing clothes and about to run out of the room, but you halted yourself. I need to go and warn Okiyama-sama about this. No, I'll be wasting time then. Who's going to die? Tanjiro asked worriedly, watching you quietly write something in a piece of paper. Tell me, who's going to die? What's going on? Kitsu, send this letter to Okiyama-sama's headquarters as soon as you can. Inform the other pillars quickly. You informed the fox that was sitting in a chair. She took the letter and dashed out of the room. You tried to follow, but Tanjiro stood at the doorframe. Move, Tanjiro. This is important. I beg of you. I won't let you leave unless you tell me what's going on, Tanjiro said drastically. I'm worried about you. Tanjiro, please. Someone is in danger. You tried to reason, your hand shaking. Step aside. Who? Tanjiro urged and with desperate in his eyes. Just tell me already, please. You're making me worried. Why are you acting like this? I'm here for you. Stop talking bullshit and step aside, you yelled angrily, taking Tanjiro back and everyone who was witnessing this. You used that moment to push him aside and run off somewhere. Tanjiro watched you leave, along with everyone else, his heart hurting more than it already did. Yin, you panted loudly, wheezing. Your tears flowed like oceans, blurring your vision. Nonetheless, you kept running. Please, gods, you said through ragged breaths and soft cries. Let me reach him on time. A meeting was held that morning at Okiyama-sama's place. The schedule of you suddenly leaving that night made everyone uneasy, and discord began sprouting between the lower-ranked demon slayers, the pillars, and even Kayaka. You were her boyfriend, and you can't even protect her? You absolute garbage! Uzui shouted in rage, pointing a finger at Tanjiro. You should be ashamed of yourself! Oh, shit. Hajiji agreed. Yin is my fiancé, and she forced herself to who knows where, Tanjiro defended, ready to fight against the sad pillar. Did she at least told you who was going to die? Shinobu asked, hugging Kayaka in hopes to ease his worry. No, but... Just kill him already! Uzui spoke once again. Tokida and Michiru are already lunging at the boy in the checkered hori. Guys, please settle down. Let's discuss like rational people. We're pillars after all. Mitsuri pleaded with urge and desperate. Once everyone calmed down, she suddenly aimed her arms towards the sky, unsheathing her sword, ready to strike. Oh my god. Burn him! I'm sorry, this is serious and I'm actually laughing. Okiyama has arrived. The two kids spoke, silencing the dispute, making everyone present kneel in respect as they looked at the ground. As many of us know, our god pillar has disappeared late at the night, for a vision has given, Okitama explained. Though some of you may have entered with her ex-lover about the lack of information, Hanua gave me a letter as soon as she could before she left in a haste. I shall read the letter, the child with white hair said, unfolding the letter. Him. Okiyama-sama, I have witnessed a visage as I slept. A horrible future I wish to rewrite. Kojiro Rengoku is fated to die by the hands of a demon on his next mission. Mugon Train. That is the place where I will find him. I apologize for not meeting with you as soon as I was given the vision, for I know not the time when Rengoku will die, and I wish to arrive where he is as soon as possible. I request immediate aid from the pillars. Please, do arrive. Pardon thee. I beg of you. Hanuo Yin. I'll be on my way then. Hajijin spoke, rubbing his beads of the collar he held in hand. So will I, Izui nodded, already running off. I'll go as well, Mitsuri said, raising her hand with a swift weight, with one leg to the other. I believe they will be enough to help Hanuo and Kojiro-san, Okitama said. May they reach them on time. What for? Someone scoffed. At least we'll get rid of the cult kid that way. There was a slight trance of anger in Okitama-sama's face. I thought you knew the rules in your explanation, Iguro. Lo and behold, Iguro stood indeed. He glared at everyone from afar, still wearing his bandage around his mouth. Komaru now was under Mitsuri's care, hissed angrily when he saw his former friend. The poor reptile was caged for days with little to no food because his favorite Iguro's enemy. I just came to say a few things before leaving. Iguro shrugged carelessly, airing a scoff from the black-haired man. Tanjiro must know why that Hanuo kid is such a hurry to leave. Is it strange for Yin to worry about her fellow pillar? Michiru scoffed. Yeah, Kitty-chan just doing your job, Mitsuri nervously agreed, hoping to ease the tension and maybe even end the discussion. Everyone here knows the real reason why Hanuo cruelly broke up with her monochromatic boyfriend, Obanai said, grinning underneath his mask as he pointed at Tanjiro. Everyone, except for him. What do you mean by that? What's the real reason? Tanjiro growled lowly, hands shaking in both fear and anger. Iguro, don't! Mitsuri begged, afraid, yet to no avail. Hinoa-chan replaced you with the flame pillar.